بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. آه دي بلوجاية من على موقع ميديم. بتتكلم عن 7 most important software design pattern. For a comprehensive deep dive into the subject of software design pattern, check out software created by مش عارف ايه. why design pattern؟ ليه الديزاين pattern؟ Design pattern have become an object of some controversy in the programming world in recent times, largely due to their perceived overuse, leading to code that can be harder to understand and manage. It's important to understand that design patterns were never meant to be hacked together, shortcuts to be applied in a haphazard، يعني تطبق بشكل عشوائي. One size fits all manner to your code. There is ultimately no substitute for genuine problem solving ability in software engineering. The fact remains, however, that design pattern can be incredibly useful if used in their right situation. هتبقى مفيدة لو استخدمت في مكانها الصح. And for the right reason، وللسبب الصح. When used strategically, they can make a programmer significantly more efficient، ذو كفاءة أعلى، by allowing them to avoid إعادة الاختراع، reinventing the إعادة اختراع العجل، proverbial wheel، العجلة. Instead, using methods refined by others already, they also provide a useful common language to conceptualize repeated problems، المشاكل المكررة، and solutions when discussing with others or managing code in larger teams. That being said, an important caveat is to ensure that the how and the why behind each pattern is also understood by developer. Without further ado, in general order of importance from most to least, the most important design pattern singleton. The singleton pattern is used to limit creation of a class. يحط قيود على بناء الكلاس بتاعك. only one object، ان هو يتاخد منه instance واحدة بس. This is beneficial، ده مفيد when one and only one object is needed. انت محتاج object واحد بس to coordinate actions across the system. There are several examples of where only a singleton instance of a class should exist, including caches, thread pools, and registries. It's trivial to initiate an object of a class, but how do we ensure that only one object ever gets created? The answer is to make the constructor private. ازاي اقدر اطمن ان او اتاكد ان انا كريت انستنس واحده بس؟ عن طريق ان انا بخلي الكونستراكتور برايفت to the class we intended to define as a singleton، للكلاس اللي انا ناوي اخليه singleton. That way only the members of the class can access the private constructor and no one else. الممبرز اللي عندي في الكلاس بس هي اللي تقدر تستخدم البرايفت كونستراكتور، ومفيش حد بره الكلاس ده يقدر يستخدمه تاني. Important consideration: it's possible to subclass a singleton by making the constructor protected instead of private. ممكن تخليه الاكسس موديفاير بتاعه protected مش private. This might be suitable under some circumstances. ممكن يبقى مناسب في بعض الظروف. One approach taken in these scenarios is to create a register of singleton of the subclass, and the getInstance method can take in a parameter or use an environment variable to return the desired singleton. The registry then maintains a mapping of string names to singleton object which can be accessed as needed. تاني pattern الفactory method. A normal factory produces goods. A software factory produces objects. And not just that, it does so without specifying the exact class of the object to be created. To accomplish this, objects are created by calling factory method instead of calling a constructor. يبقى بكريت الاوبجكت عن طريق ان انا بقول الفاكتوري ميثود بدل ما اقول الكونستراكتور بتاع الكلاس. Usually object creation in Java takes place like so. بكريت new عن طريق استخدام كلمة new keyword. The problem with the above approach المشكلة في الابروتش ده is that the code using the sum classes object بياخد object من السم class. Suddenly فجأة now becomes dependent on the concrete implementation of some class. There is nothing wrong with using new to create object. مفيش حاجة غلط في انك تكريت object باستخدام كلمة new, but it comes with the baggage of tightly coupling our code to the concrete implementation class. ان احنا خلينا الكود tightly coupled مقترن ببعض which can occasionally be problematic. ممكن يبقى مشكلة. في بعض الأحيان بيكون مشكلة. strategy. The strategy pattern allows grouping related algorithms under an abstraction, which allows switching out one algorithm or policy for another without modifying the client. Instead of directly implementing a single algorithm, the code receives runtime instructions specifying which of the group of algorithms to run. هو اللي يختار أي واحد من الالجوريزم هو اللي يحصل له run. الobserver. This pattern is one to many dependency between object هي relationship one to many object, so that when one object change أول لما object بيتغير الستيت بتاعته بتتغير all its dependents كل المعتمدين عليه are notified بيجي لهم إشعار أو notification بشكل تلقائي. This is typically done by calling one of their methods. For the sake of simplicity, think about من أجل البساطة فكر في what happened when you follow someone on Twitter. إيه اللي بيحصل لما أنت بتعمل فولو لحد على تويتر. You are essentially asking Twitter to send you the observer. كأنك بتقول لتويتر ابعت لي الobserver. Tweet updates of the person. الابديتس بتاعة التويت اللي بينزلها الشخص ده. في الحالة دي ده اسمه ايه؟ السبجكت عني. You follow it. The pattern consists of two actors. الباترن بيتكون من 2 actors. ممثلين ليه. The observer who is interested in the update. الobserver المهتم بالابديتس and the subject. والسبجكت ده اللي بيجنريت اصلا الايه؟ الابديتس. A subject can have many observers. السبجكت ممكن يكون ليه اكتر من observer. عشان كده قلنا relationship is a one to many relationship. عشان كده relationship ما بينهم one to many. However an observer يبقى انا عندي ايه؟ subject و observers. A subject can have many observers and is one to many relationship. However, an observer is free to subscribe to updates from other subjects too. You can subscribe to new feed from a Facebook page while would be the subject, and whenever the page has a new post, the subscriber would see the new post. كل ما الصفحة بتنزل بوست جديد الناس اللي عاملة سبسكرايب للصفحة دي هتشوف البوست الجديد ده. Key consideration: in case of many subjects and few observers, if each subject stores its observer separately بشكل منفصل. It will increase the storage هتزود الذاكرة. Costs as some subject will be storing the same observer multiple times. البيلدر as the name implies كما يشير الاسم. A builder pattern is used to build object عشان يبني object. Sometimes the objects we create can be complex ممكن تبقى معقدة. Made up of several sub-objects or require an elaborate construction process. The exercise of creating complex type can be simplified by using a builder pattern. A composite or an aggregate object is what a builder generally builds. Key consideration: a builder pattern might seem similar to the abstract factory. ممكن يبقى مشابه للabstract factory pattern. But one difference في اختلاف is that هو إن الbuilder pattern creates an object step by step بيكريت الobject خطوة بخطوة. Whereas the abstract factory pattern returns the object in one go. يعني بيرجع الاوبجكت دفعة واحدة. ده الفرق ما بينهم هما الاثنين. والادابتر باترن this allows incompatible classes بيخلي اتنين classes incompatible غير متوافقين مع بعض to work together ان هما يشتغلوا مع بعض by converting the interface of one class into another. Think of it as a sort of translator كأنه ايه مترجم. When two heads of states who doesn't speak a common language meet لو في اتنين ما بيتكلموش نفس اللغة usually an interpreter sits between the two and translates the conversation. في مترجم بيقعد ما بينهم ويترجم لده ويترجم لده. thus enabling communication ده بيخلي التواصل. فكده اتنين مالهمش علاقة ببعض مش عارفين يتواصلوا مع بعض جابوا وسيط ما بينهم خلاهم هما الاتنين يتواصلوا مع بعض. If you have two applications with one spitting output as XML with the other requiring JSON input واحد تاني محتاج JSON then you will need an adapter pattern the two to make between the two ما بينهم هما الاثنين to make them work seamlessly عشان تخليهم هما الاثنين يشتغلوا مع بعض بسلاسة. آخر واحد الستيت. The state pattern encapsulates the various states a machine can be in and allows an object to alter its behavior when its internal state changes. The machine or the context as it is called in pattern speak can have actions taken on it that propel it into different states. Without the use of the pattern, the code becomes inflexible and lettered with if-else conditionals. يبقى في if-elses كتير. ودول كانوا 7 باترن من اكتر الباترن المستخدمة او الكومن في لغة الجافا.